Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome along to the Afternoon Rabble here on the Rangers Rabble Podcast. First things first, a big, massive well done to Pezza Quadruple One, and Jacob and the Starry-Eyed Shadows, and Andrew Duncan as well, who are the three winners of the new Rangers fourth top. So, congratulations to those three. Yes. Please do, everybody, like, share, and subscribe. Of course, we are now live only on YouTube. This is the only place you will find us. And of course, our membership stuff's available on YouTube and Patreon as well. But make sure that you're liking and subscribing and all that good stuff. My name is Martin. I'm your host. And today I'm joined by Demi. Demi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm alright, thank you. How are you?
Tired?
Sounds about right for you, Martin.
It does. It does. Listen, I need to ask you before we start getting into all the serious stuff. Where do you stand on slippers?
What do you mean, where do I stand on them?
Do you like slippers?
I'm more of a Crocs kind of gal.
Right. Well, what if I told you that you could get the most amazing slippers for $3.99?
I'm sure many people will bite your hand off for it, Martin. I am a fluffy sock and Croc kind of gal.
Well,
Uh,
it's funny you say fluffy, right? Look at these bad boys.
oh, they're quite nice actually.
Yes, and they're fluffy, and they're and they fit perfectly onto your foot. Only $3.99. Now, yeah, I know what people are thinking. Well, Martin, that must be from the Rabble shop, surely. If you're trying to sell them, no, B&M,
Hmm.
B&M. So yeah, get yourself onto that. Now we have been joined by a third person. I mean, look at that face, Mr. Wolf Marshall. Wolf, how are you?
I'm okay, Martin. Thanks. Just thought
I
I'd jump on.
knew,
I noticed it was just the two of you, so I thought I would jump on quickly, but
I
I haven't
knew,
told anybody I've jumped on, so um, I may
you
have to leave in a hurry.
Demi knew. Demi knew. She said. She said, I know that Wolf will jump on. Wolf will jump on. I'm
I bet
actually.
she didn't say that though.
I can't obviously tell you what she did say.
What she said
Um,
is Dad will jump on.
well, she probably. To be fair, all right, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Now I'm just trying to fix the cameras because Wolf's jumped on and made it all difficult for me. Um, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. There we go. Look at that. There we go. Right, okay.
Put them in the middle, Martin.
Oh, for God's sake.
That's better.
There you go. Sorry,
better.
boss. Sorry,
Sorry.
boss.
It just looks better.
Yes. Okay, okay. Well, it would look better if you were if your camera was off. To be fair.
Okay.
But here we are. Here we are. Like, never been able to take a joke. Well, never been able to take a joke, Demi. Anyway, let's get on with the serious stuff, Demi. We have Roma coming to Ibrox tonight. How you feeling?
Obviously I don't watch Roma often, but from from what I believe, their form is looking pretty much very similar to ours. So, a bit more confidence now, having seen that, but it's this Rangers team, so um, yeah, I'm not sure. I expect there to be goals because they concede goals, we concede goals. But yeah, I do expect it to be a close one.
A close one, Wolf. Do you expect it to be a close one tonight, mate? I'm going to tell you right now the way that I'm feeling. I don't expect it to be close, and I don't mean that in a positive way for Rangers.
I don't know where Demi's getting a very similar form to us because in Europe they've not done great, but they're fourth top of the Italian league. They're only 1 point off the top.
I want to say
So,
I was talking about their European form. Sorry, I should have made that clear.
well, the European form's not great, which worries me even more because they'll be all out to win the game. I mean, they've got I think they've got 3 points, one win and a couple of defeats. I think they've got three. The form's slightly better than us because we've got no points, but I mean they got beat at home by Pilsen, which if you look at the results, you think, well, that's fine because we beat Pilsen. But listen, I don't know how we beat Pilsen. Still don't know how we beat Pilsen, and it was what two or 3 months ago. So no, I feel the worst tonight. I always go into games quite confident, but I really feel the worst tonight.
That's that's my worry, Wilf. That is my worry. Like you say, they're only at a point behind the league leaders in Italy. They've started that season really, really well. Can you read much into European form when it comes to these games, Wilf? The way, and I know that works for both sides. It works for both Rangers and Roma. But I look more when a team's coming to Ibrox. I look more at the league form than I do at the European form.
I don't look at the form at all. I only worry about Rangers, if I'm perfectly honest. And their European form has been, quite frankly, shocking. But I mean, this really is Danny Rowe's first shot at it because, okay, he was in the dugout when we went to Norway, but we'll give him that as a free pass because he'd been in the door 5 minutes. So it'll be interesting to see how he sets up. I think he'll probably go 3 at the back because we'll need the the extra security at the back. My concern is we've got nothing in the middle of the park. Very little creativity in the team. That's not Danny Rowe's fault. I mean, you can only the expression about doing things with the willy that you've got. So we'll, you know what I mean. It's the afternoon. I don't want to say what the actual the thing is, but
I know, and I've just had a bowl of all brand, Wolf. So come on.
Right, okay. Well, I'm glad it wasn't cornflakes because I know what you think about people in cornflakes.
You know what I think about
multiple man in cornflakes, but that's another story. But yeah, I think I don't know the first thing about Rome. I just know what the form is. I haven't seen them. I don't watch Italian football, to be perfectly honest. But if they're only one point off the top of the league, then they're not a bad side because the Italian league is very, very strong. I do feel the worst midfield's going to be critical tonight. Jack Butland will need to be on form, which he tends to be. I'm worried, very, very worried.
How much pressure do you think Demi's on Danny Rule tonight? Because yeah, I'm with Wolf, and I know that you two were there that night in Norway. I don't think we can really put too much at his door for that, if anything at his door for that, to be honest. He's then went and got a couple of wins in the league. Then he's lost a cup semi-final against them. You can't keep losing big games, regardless of how poor we think this team is, regardless of how bad we think the recruitment is. You can't keep losing games, and you can't lose games badly, which is genuinely my fear for the night with this Rangers team, because I think the players will throw anybody under the bus, but the manager can't keep losing games.
Yeah, so I think I think the key point there, is when you're saying that we can't keep losing badly, that, as Dad just said, Danny Rowe can only go with with the players that he has, but it's what he does with the players that he has, if he can get them up for it and get them fighting. And, I think the most sickening thing of the games that we've lost in Europe so far this season, and arguably in the league as well, is that we look like we'd met each other outside 5 minutes before the game started. They weren't fighting for each other. There was no working together. You can almost not forgive, but you can almost forgive getting beat, if you played well and the other team's just better than you. But, you can't really forgive, not having the fight, not going out there and trying, working for each other. So I think, more importantly for Danny Rowe tonight, it's how he gets the team sort of fighting for each other, as I think, than it is more on the result tonight.
That's something that I think, Wolf, that we've struggled with. I say the players have struggled with, regardless of who's been in charge. And that is my slight worry with this team, albeit, semi-final, second half, down to 10 men. I thought the players played really well. I thought the captain was excellent. I thought he led by example. And we just ran out of steam in extra time. We had nothing left to give in extra time. But it's the mentality of these players that's still in question.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, like you said, we can't keep losing big games. I mean, it's all very well, beating the Motherwells and the Hibs and all this, but you've got to win the big games. I mean, I think from memory, I think we haven't won in about 6 or 7 European games. I mean, that's, given our recent European record, that's scandalous, absolutely scandalous. And for me, we have to get something right if we've got any aspirations to continue in Europe after this league phase is finished. I mean, I've said it long and weary when the draw get made. I thought first 3 games minimum 7 points, and Rome was a free hit. We're on no points now. Rome is a must get something from the game. I mean, obviously we'd be absolutely over the moon to win the game. That's going to be a very, very hard task. I mean, as Demi says, the fact that we need to see them playing for each other as a team. There was a lot of that on Sunday. I mean, on Sunday, I'm not saying whether one will level number second half in an extra time, but you never know. You know, they did seem to do better in adversity. I mean, the amount of times we've gone behind and then started playing once we're behind is frightening. You know, we shouldn't have to wait till we go behind to start looking like a team and start playing for each other. They should be playing for each other from the off. I don't really know why. You know, like on Sunday, why the first half was so bad. I mean, the first half was so bad we missed 3 absolute sitters.
Yeah.
On Sunday, you know what I mean? For as bad as we played, we missed the 3 best chances of the game, arguably. And then we came out second half in adversity, goal down, man down. We're by far the better team in the second half. And that's not the first time that's happened. I mean, Dundee United game at Ibrox, we didn't kick a ball till they went 2-1 up. You know, and then we looked really good after that. So we have to get this mentality from the off. The minute we get out the, I mean, how they can't get going. Ibrox, I don't think will be full tonight. It'll be far from full tonight, but it'll still be rocking because the European night's fantastic at Ibrox. So how that can get the going? I mean, I believe there's a lot of Roma fans in town as well. You know, they'll have sold out their allocation, I'd imagine. So I mean, the atmosphere should be really, really good. I'm looking forward to it from that point of view, and for any professional footballer not to be able to get up for that in his own stadium, it mystifies me why that would happen. And I'm just hoping against hope that the more time they spend together under Danny Roll, the more they will play together as a team. The more they'll get used to his message. Because I do think that the previous incumbent tried to complicate it too much, and they've still got a bit of that in their heads. So they need to forget about that and just play their natural game and see where it takes them.
That would be nice. So it would. Junkie72 channel member, thank you very much for the super chat. Demi, I think there'll be a lot of goals tonight. So that means 4 to Roma. Demi, out with set pieces, where's our goals coming from?
You know, I'd like to hope that, you know, sorry. So
Were you on the lash last night, Demi?
I was, but I had this before that. My voice is it's not doing well at the minute, Martin.
That's only because every time you come on here, you were out the night before.
No, I've had this for about 3 or 4 days now. Everything's all clogged up.
And you thought that a good swallow would make it better.
Yes.
Is that right?
Naturally.
A good swally after playing football in the pouring rain in Aberdeen and getting a bit of a head knock towards the end, she still decides she's gone out on the swally.
Yeah.
Oh, to be young again.
Oh, to be young, Wolf. Oh, to be young. I can only do one of those things. In fact, I can't do any of those things anymore. So fair play to you, Demi.
Yeah, so, you know, obviously, you'd like to think that, you know, the midfield can crop up with some goals. We've seen it, last season, start of this season. So, you know, it obviously depends who he starts in there. But, you know, I'd like to see some of the players that we've got here, you know, on big loans or meant to be big names. You know, I'd like to see them chipping in tonight. Sorry, his name's gone out of my head.
That's because you were on the lash last night.
Mikey Moore. Sorry, Mikey Moore. You know, Mikey Moore, Tello Asgard. I think, you know, it's time that they sort of show what they can do, and, you know, let's hope that they can start chipping in some goals. And, you know, Chermiti, Majowski, hopefully they can start getting some. But yeah, you know, goals could come from many places tonight.
Well, again, Demi seems to be on some happy pills there, Wolf, because I don't know where our goals are coming. I mean, look back at that semi-final. It wasn't going our way, and he takes Danilo off and leaves Chermiti on the park, even though Chermiti's missed 2 absolute sitters. Majowski comes on and looks as though he's in slow motion, as if somebody's pressed that. Do you ever remember that film Click? Was it Click that Adam Sandler was in? Anybody? Where basically he had a remote where he could pause and fast forward or slow down time. Well, that was as if somebody had done that, Wolf, to Majowski on Sunday, because he looked as if he was playing a Masters game of football, and that he was well past his best. Slow as hell. That even the bit where the ball's running through and he's standing beside Schmeichel and he just sort of looks at the ball and doesn't know what to do with it. So when you've got Diamandi setting up Chermiti with chances that he's got to score. So who's scoring the goals, Wolf?
Well, that was going to be my question, but you asked it instead, because you will see, you know, when you went to Demi there. I mean, I sort of understand the halftime substitution on Sunday, because Chermiti, for all he misses chances, he's more mobile and he holds the ball up better than Danilo. I mean, Danilo's not mobile at all when the ball bounces off him. So I understand it. I understand it from that point of view. But for it to be effective, you need people to be running off Chermiti. You know what I mean? So that you can lay it off to them. I mean, the glaring thing for me in the first half was on Sunday was the chance that Raskin missed when he hit the keeper. Now he shouldn't be hitting the keeper. That's on him. He should be making the keeper make a save by putting it on his head. But he glanced. If you watch it, he glanced to his left and he saw it was Chermiti. He went, "I'm just going to hit this."
Mm-hmm.
Because if he sticks it sideways, Chermiti's got a tap in. But he obviously, to me, that means the players have got no confidence in his striking ability either, which is quite worrying. But I understand why he left him on, because he's more likely to hold the ball up than Danilo. But Danilo's more likely to score the chance. But you have to make the chance in the first place. And with Demi, I think Mikey Moore could be massive tonight. I mean, if he gets the ball down and he can run at them, the problem is he has to have somebody to give the ball to, because he can't do it all on his own.
You think he definitely starts on 8, Wolf? You think definitely?
I don't think he definitely starts. I'd probably start him. In fact, well, I don't know if I'd start him actually, because I think he's quite good at impact as an impact player. However, leaving him on the bench might mean he's coming on when we're 3 or 4 down, because that's the way the game could possibly go. Because I think we're going to need to sit in and kind of stem the tide tonight, so we might need an out ball. And the out ball for me would be Mikey Moore, because he's quick. He can hold the ball up. He can run with the ball. We don't have a lot of that in the team. I'd play Cameron in the midfield tonight to try and win some of the ball, but he seems to be out of favour. I believe he's not injured; he just hasn't featured. So I don't really know. But I think he might start Mikey Moore tonight. But there's a bit of me thinks that he prefers him as an impact player. So if you're asking me would I start him, yes, I would start him. I'm not quite sure Danny Rule will start him.
Yeah, I find that strange, Demi, about Lyle Cameron, and we'll come back. I'll come back to you in a minute, Demi, for Miovski, all that stuff. But just touching on Lyle Cameron, are you surprised that he doesn't seem to be in favour with the manager?
I mean, I don't think we've actually seen enough of him yet for him to sort of be in favour, So I guess at the time that Danny Rowe come in, he kind of only has to go off what he's seen at training, because he didn't have that sort of pre-season with him. And so I just think, there's not really enough, compared to who else we have in the midfield, who we've regularly seen playing in there. I do just think it's down to sort of like lack of evidence rather than anything else, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just a young, energetic Scottish player for me, who has looked decent when he's come on. I think along with Connor Barron, and obviously there's the Finlay Curtis question as well, Wolf, that will be asked again tonight. Will we see Finlay Curtis? And again, look, I'm not going to lie, it's my bias. I want to see young Scottish players, whether I don't care if they're goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders, attackers. I want to see as many young Scottish players in this Rangers team as humanly possible. And we do have a few there who could play. The Cameron one does confuse me slightly. I think we've seen, maybe Demi's right, maybe we've not seen quite enough, but maybe we have, Wolf.
Well, we haven't as supporters, but I mean, if he's not injured, then the head coach must have seen plenty of him in training, because he'll be in training every day if he's not injured, and we're led to believe he's not injured. So I don't know what he's not seeing on the training park, that he's not even getting in the squad. It's not even as if Cameron's not starting, because we've got options in midfield. He's not even getting on the bench. Now, I expect him to be on the bench tonight, the same as I expect Finlay Curtis to be on the bench tonight, because it's the Scottish coefficient thing, isn't it? And the fact you list about 300 subs in Europe these days.
12,
you know
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I fully expect them to be on the bench. Whether or not the game times are a completely different story. I'd love to know, what the problem is with Cameron, because I mean, I think he's a terrific player. Once he gets settled into a midfield, I think he'll take some shifting. You know what I mean? As Kenny said before we even signed him, on a pod during the summer. I know Danny Rowe's currently trying to find his best team, and he's mixing it up, and he's trying stuff, and he's got to do that kind of on the job, because we've got so many games. We've got so many games, but really we've got a game today, a game on Sunday, then they're off for 2 weeks. Because there's no games because yet another international break. So he should be getting out. Whoever's playing tonight should just be told to go out and empty it. Just go out, give it all you've got, empty it. He'll use the squad properly, and then same again on Sunday, and then give them a few days off and see where we end up. But that mystifies me why Cameron's not featuring. The Finlay Curtis question's another one I'd love to ask him. Why is he not getting any game time? As I say, they'll both be on the bench tonight because of the European thing and the fact that, as you say, he lists 12 subs. Bailey Rice as well. What's happened to him? He's just disappeared. I mean, I know you were talking to Willie about that yesterday. He's just absolutely vanished. So, and I mean, they're not even featuring in the under 19s. You think if they're not getting game time for the first team, they'd step back down because they still qualify for the 19s. And they're not even getting game time there. So it's an absolute mystery to me.
It's just ruining talent. Well, whilst we're on that subject, by the way, this was something I didn't actually realise. Is Shona's saying, good to see Kyle Glasgow training with the first team. Now that fills me with happiness because I have been. I don't know, Wilf, if you've been to many academy games yet this season, or you've seen much of this boy. He's a talent.
He's a special talent, but he's only, he's 16 years old, 16, 15. Possibly 17. Is he 15? So there's not a ghost that he's going to feature in the first team.
No.
But it's great to see that he's training with them. Same, it was great to see that Aidan McCallion's been on all the European trips, as you referenced yesterday as well. I was hoping to see him in one of the first team games, but he hasn't because he went on the last European trip, and then he didn't feature for the 19s on the Friday. I thought he might have appeared on the Sunday, but he never. I can't remember what game that was, but at least they're about. It's a great experience for them, but we have to use them properly. It's all very well saying these guys. I mean, how often was Finlay Curtis in training with the first team and then playing in the first team, and now he's just disappeared. I mean, if the manager and the coaching staff aren't going to use these guys, there's absolutely no point in just putting them in training.
Well, is it Aidan is out of contract in the summer? I think Bailey's out of contract in the summer. I think Kyle Glasgow's out of contract in the summer. So Rangers need to be doing what they can, especially for somebody like Kyle, who is like 15 years old, playing against 18, 19-year-old boys and making them look stupid.
But Martin, the problem with that, because he's only 15, he won't have signed a professional contract yet, and it could be the same as all of the Oliver Goodbrand thing. By the time he comes to sign a contract, Billy Gilmore going back a few years as well, and it happened to the lad that went to Villa as well, whose name escapes me. People see how good they are, and they come in and say, "Look, we'll give you life-changing money for a 16-year-old if you sign your first professional contract with us. We really need to get Kyle Glasgow signed up on his 16th birthday. Say, listen, son, the money's probably good if you go elsewhere, but there's a future for you here. But at the moment, these guys aren't seeing a future here. That's something we need to change, so that you can say, well, okay, I'm good enough. The money will come in years down the line. Right now, my future's at Rangers, but it worries me that we'll lose Kyle Glasgow because, I mean, I have seen him a couple of times. I think he's a prodigious talent. I think he's absolutely fantastic. And exactly the same goes for Luka Rankin.
Yeah.
Guys like that. There's loads of guys in that 19s team who can still qualify for the 17s. They would qualify for the under 16s if we had an under 16s team. But we need to get these guys signed up as soon as we can, or we're going to lose them. But we have to show them that there's a pathway.
That's the big thing. If you're Finlay Curtis, Demi, what are you thinking right now? You're thinking, I've scored, as far as I'm aware, and I'm sure Wolf will correct me if I'm wrong, 3 goals in 6 games, 3 goals in 6 or 3 goals in 7 or something like that. I've came on the pitch in the league and I've saved us for getting beat away at Paisley. I've never really put a foot wrong on the pitch. There may have been one game or one half he was maybe not quite on it or whatever. But if you're Finlay Curtis, Demi, you must be sitting there thinking, what do I need to do?
Yeah, look, I said it on the podcast, when Russell Martin was still here, that it did mystify me at the time that, he had got us, I believe, did he get us a win and 2 draws or something coming off the bench to score goals? I mean, at one point he had scored more goals than anyone else from the bench. So yeah, it mystifies me as well. But I think, this season his biggest problem, and obviously it's not even anything that he's done, but his biggest problem is that he plays the same position as Mikey Moore. Because, we didn't bring Mikey Moore up from Spurs to sit on the bench. We just didn't. We didn't say to Spurs, we'll pay X percentage of his wages to have him sitting on the bench. So, he's going to be involved in games, and I think that is what is kind of hindering Finlay Curtis at the minute. But, he will have to now decide, if his love for Rangers is enough for him to, sort of stall his whole career and stay up here, or if he has to make the choice and leave to go elsewhere.
Well,
but
that's
Demi, unfortunately, your love for Rangers doesn't pay your bills as you're getting older.
No.
It doesn't. You know what I
I
mean?
know that's
It's
what
a
I'm saying.
it's a very, very short career, and I don't blame any of them going chasing the money. But as I said about guys like like Kyle Glasgow and Luca Rankin, I hope that they can see the bigger picture and say, look, they've got the talent, the money will come. Build up your reputation at Rangers, but we have to show them there's a pathway. And as Shona rightly said, it was Rory Wilson I was thinking about that went to Villa.
Yeah. And I think, was it multiple man there that was talking about
Zebedee Lawson, his name
Zeb
did spring to
Lawson?
mind. Yeah, his name did spring to
Yes.
mind.
Listen, Zeb's very raw, and I know that you probably heard me or Willie say that before. He needs games, but again, he's got something special. He's a very, very, very good young player. He's very tricky. He's tall for his age. Good at cutting, and he's more like an inside forward. Very good player. Needs games. Needs a lot of games, and he's only 16 years old as well. But you wouldn't know that by looking at him.
Yeah,
You'd know that.
we've also, sorry, Matt, we've also just signed him. We've just brought him in, so he's not an immediate concern about losing him because he has just come in. He's just because remember when we signed him, we couldn't play him because there was issues getting him registered when he first came in. Because I met him at the academy game at Foundation Park when we played Dundee United, and he wasn't playing simply because he wasn't registered. There was a problem getting him registered, but he's obviously that's all done now. So we have just signed him. So he's not as big an issue as likes of Rory Wilson, the Luca Rankin, and all these other guys that are out of contract.
No, he is not. He is not. But he needs to just play more games and keep playing games. Right, tonight, back to tonight, Demi. I'm not sure what formation the manager's going to go with. I mean, we'll find out soon. I mean, kickoff's in like 7 hours. If he does go with a three at the back, Giga, Suter, Fernandez, it's not looking great at the back, Demi, is it?
I mean, no, for me, Giga has to be absolutely nowhere near there. After his performance on Sunday, I don't think he can be anywhere near that back line tonight. But I do expect him to go 3 at the back. But I also expect him to go 2 up front, as he has been doing recently. So, I think it'll be 3-5-2, and we could see Tav in at centre half tonight.
I mean, I probably wouldn't panic as much, Wolf, if it was Tav in at centre back over Giga, but the defence really does worry me, doesn't it?
Yeah, it scares me as well. I mean, I'd rather have Forsyth, Jordan, and Greg in there, but unfortunately, that's no longer that's not an issue. That's not a possibility. So, it is. I mean, as Demi rightly says, Giga can't be anywhere near it. Not after his performance on Sunday. I mean, we said we were at the game together, and we said very early on he was like a rabbit in the headlights. I mean, and he was. I mean, the team didn't do a lot to help him because in the first minute he just launched one out the park when he had plenty of time just to stick it back to the keeper or boot it up the park, and nobody seemed to go to him and say, "Listen, son, calm down." You know what I mean? And for him to last as long as he did mystifies me. But I don't think he can be. But if you're playing 3 at the back, you're probably going to see him starting the game, and I do expect him to play 3 at the back. As Demi says, Tav may be in at right centre back. In which case, who's he going to play on the as wing backs? I would expect Max Arons to come in as one of them, but who would come in the other side? It's a difficult one. I mean, really to keep the score down formation wise, I think we should maybe go 7-2-2, something like that as a formation. Or sorry, 7-2-1. Sorry, it would be as a formation. To try and keep the score down. But again, I don't know how good Rome are. I'm only going by where they're currently sitting in the Italian league. But it does worry me, and as I said at the start when I first came on, that I'm also worried that there's no creativity in the middle of the park.
No.
How are we going to make chances? Because we won't make a lot of chances, and we need somebody that's going to unlock their defence, and I really don't know who that's going to be.
Well, in the past, we've had to rely on Magoma to try and create some chances for us because there's not much creativity coming from that midfield. Now, I would just like to dispel a vicious rumour that's going about in the comments. No, I did not. I would admit it. I'm quite proud of mine. But I've got a fancy microphone that doesn't pick up that. So that's why I got it. So no, I did not. But yeah. I mean, the midfield, Demi, it's a real area of concern. I mean, Raskin's not exactly on top form. Dio, for me, looked a little bit better coming back in. Asgard, I mean, I've just not seen much really from him at all. Rothwell's not filling me with any confidence. Bailey Rice isn't getting any game time. there's no real defensive cover. There's no real creativity. There's no real ability to control a game in the middle of the park. So, does it really matter who starts in the midfield tonight?
I mean, I think, depending who you're starting tonight, it's, if you're playing the likes of, if you play, for an example, Mikey Moore, Nico Raskin, or Tel Asgard, this is, they've all got, I mean, Mikey Moore, he has a point to prove, that he can go back down to Spurs at the end of his loan deal. And, Nico Raskin and Tel Asgard have got sort of, international football that they need to, they need to prove that they can be part of. And clearly we're not doing that in the league. So, games like tonight, it could be where they shine. And, I'd like to think that we get a big performance out of them tonight, because they know that there'll be a lot of people watching. And it's probably, their best chance of cementing a place sort of in their respective national teams. So I would expect for, probably similar to Dio as well, I'd expect that for those three, it will be proving a point for themselves tonight.
In fact, that's a good point. Dio's back for suspension, Wolf, isn't he?
Yeah, Dio
Well,
was back.
one game, wasn't it?
It was 2 games, and he served
Was
us
it
2
2
games. I mean, if you watch the press conference yesterday, you know he's back, because they're not going to stick him up for the. You're not going to stick him up on the presser if
I've not
he's suspended.
watched the press conference yet, believe it or not.
And on that subject, just before I go, so I need to get back to work, right? How ridiculous is it of Rangers to put Diomande up for a European press conference after what happened on Sunday? Because the only thing they asked him was, do you think it should have been a red card on Sunday? Yeah. Similar happened to you at Tannadice, same referee. It was an open goal for the Scottish media. Who in the club makes these decisions? You know what I mean? You've got a squad of 24 players. Why stick up the one guy who's going to get asked all these questions? Because it happened to him last year with the same referee. Yeah. It mystified me when I realised it was Dio that was doing the presser, but no, he is back from suspension, and I do expect him to start tonight, and tonight is massive for him. He owes us a big performance tonight. He really does.
Yeah, he does. Right, okay, before I let the two of you go then, Wolf, I know this is a stupid question to ask you. Prediction?
I think we'll probably lose, but I'm going to predict a sneaky 1-0 to Rangers.
You never predict Rangers to lose a goal. It's incredible. You think we're going to lose, yeah, we're not going to concede. I love it. Yep. I absolutely love it. Demi, quick prediction.
3-2 Rangers.
Well, where are we getting 3 goals for?
I don't know if that's more my heart or my head, but...
Listen, Demi, Wolf, thank you very, very much. Thank you, everybody, for all the super chats, all the comments, all the likes, all the subscribes, etc., etc., etc. If you haven't left a like yet, please do. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure that you subscribe. And if you could do me another favour, bit of a pain in the arse, but after it's finished, see if you can come back, like click off and then come back. There's a thing called hype. Apparently, when you get points in your YouTube account, I don't think the points mean anything. It's not as if points mean prizes. But if you could hype the video for me as well, that would be greatly appreciated. If you're watching this back, hit that hype button. That would be greatly appreciated. Myself and Alan are back tonight at 7. It's High Tower on the watch along at 7:55, and it's myself, Kenny, and Connor on the reaction about 5 or 10 minutes after the full-time whistle. So plenty more shows to come on the Rabble today. Wolf, thank you. Demi, thank you. Everybody watching, thank you. And we shall speak very, very soon.